Last week, one of the other trainees and I gave the transition year students a class on sports law, focusing in particular on doping in sport. So we began the class by giving the students a brief overview of the origins of doping and then discussed some common means of doping, such as blood doping and the use of anabolic steroids. We also discussed with them some famous examples of athletes who had been caught doping or caught tampering with their drug tests. We then asked the class why they thought doping should be prohibited, and they came back with answers such as it's unfair on other athletes and it's also dangerous for the athletes involved. We then discussed some more recent developments in doping, such as technology doping, before getting into more of a discussion on the law surrounding doping in sport, in particular the establishment of the World Anti-Doping Agency. We explained to them that the World Anti-Doping Agency set out different codes and list the prohibited substances, and other national organisations such as Sports Ireland would follow the codes set out under the World Anti-Doping Agency. We then discussed the Court of Arbitration for Sports with the students and explained to them certain legal terms that would be used in relation to doping, such as strict liability or no fault or negligence. It was also great to get the opportunity to work with trainees from different intakes in the firm. I ended up preparing for my class and presenting the class with a trainee who had been my buddy while I was an intern in William Fry a few years ago. So it was great to get the opportunity to work with her again and also to learn so much, given she had presented the classes before. So this class was particularly interactive, and we ended the class by setting up a mock arbitration between the students, whereby it was as though they were in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and one side would represent the athlete who had supposedly tested positive for prohibited substances. One side would represent the sports organisation, and the third group would be the arbitrators. So they had to split up, discuss the legal principles they'd learned, take the facts we'd given them into account, and then put forward their arguments to the arbitrators, who decided on the penalty the athlete would receive.